I am Dr. Leonard Ashford. I am 83 years old, and I spent 42 years as an internal medicine physician, most of them at a county hospital in central Ohio, where the waiting room never emptied and the coffee was always terrible. And I am sitting here today because of something so small, so simple, that you will probably not believe me when I tell you. A teaspoon of powder in my morning coffee changed the trajectory of my health, and I watched it change the trajectory of my patients' lives too. But before I tell you what it is, I need to tell you about a man named Arthur, because Arthur is the reason I started paying attention. Arthur is the reason I am still alive. And Arthur was not so lucky. My wife, Dorothy, has been making my coffee every morning for 51 years. Same mug, this blue ceramic thing our youngest daughter made in 4th grade, chipped on the rim, handle cracked and glued back twice. Dorothy knows how I take it. 2 sugars, a splash of cream. For decades, that is how I started every single day. I never thought twice about it. I never thought about what that coffee was doing inside my body, because when you are a doctor, running on 4 hours of sleep between shifts, coffee is not a beverage, it is survival. But what I didn't realize, what none of us realized back then, was that the thing keeping me alive was also slowly, quietly, helping to destroy me. And it was not the coffee itself. It was everything I was not putting in it. Arthur Brennan, 67 years old, retired shop teacher from a high school 2 towns over, built birdhouses in his garage every Saturday morning and brought them to the hospital gift shop for free. Big hands, calloused fingers, this deep laugh that rumbled through his chest like a diesel engine. His wife, June, drove him to every appointment and sat in the waiting room doing crossword puzzles. She always saved the hard ones for Arthur because he was better with words than she was. Arthur came to me in 2003 with what he called a touch of sugar. That is how he said it, a touch of sugar, like it was nothing, like it was a mild inconvenience, like diabetes was a fly buzzing around his head that he could swat away if it got too annoying. His fasting blood sugar was 263, his A1C was 9.8. That is not a touch of sugar. That is a fire burning inside your body that you cannot see, cannot feel, until the damage is done. I told him he needed to make changes, serious changes. Diet, exercise, medication. Arthur nodded. Arthur smiled. Arthur said, "Sure thing, Doc." And then Arthur went home and did absolutely nothing. I saw him every 3 months. Every 3 months the numbers crept higher. Every 3 months June would look at me with those worried eyes, and I would look back at her, and we both knew Arthur was not changing. He was still drinking 3 cans of cola a day, still eating white bread with every meal, still adding 4 spoons of sugar to his coffee every morning. I told him the sugar was feeding the disease. I told him his body could not process it, that his blood vessels were being damaged from the inside out, his kidneys, his eyes, the nerves in his feet. He told me he had been drinking sweet coffee since he was 14, and he was not about to stop now. "Doc," he said to me once, leaning forward in that chair with his big hands on his knees, "I have outlived my father by 11 years already. Whatever time I have got, I'm going to enjoy my coffee the way I like it." I should have pushed harder. I should have sat him down and told him what I'm about to tell you, but I did not. I moved on to the next patient. I always moved on to the next patient. In 2006, Arthur came in because he could not feel his feet. Peripheral neuropathy. The nerves in his extremities were dying. The diabetes was eating him from the edges inward. By 2008, he had lost 2 toes on his left foot. By 2009, he was on dialysis 3 times a week because his kidneys were failing. June stopped doing crossword puzzles in the waiting room. She just sat there, staring at the wall, holding his jacket in her lap like she was holding him together. The last time I saw Arthur, He was in a hospital bed. His left leg had been amputated below the knee. He was 73 years old, and he weighed 140 pounds, and he looked like a man who had been hollowed out from the inside. He grabbed my hand, those big hands, those shop teacher hands, and he said, "Doc, if I could go back, I would have changed the coffee. I would have started there." He died 11 days later. I need you to hear me on this, because this is the part where most people stop listening, and that is exactly why they end up where Arthur ended up. I am not talking about some miracle supplement. I am not selling you anything. I am talking about cinnamon. Plain, ordinary cinnamon, Ceylon cinnamon specifically. That brown powder sitting in the back of your spice cabinet that you only bring out for pumpkin pie in November. That is what I started putting in my coffee, and that is what I wish I'd had told Arthur to put in his. Now, let me be very clear, because I am a doctor and I do not deal in fairy tales. Cinnamon is not a cure. It is not a replacement for medication. It is not a magic wand. But the research, and I have read the studies, I have lived the results, shows that cinnamon can help your body manage blood sugar. It can improve insulin sensitivity. It has anti-inflammatory properties that matter when you are dealing with the kind of chronic, slow-burning inflammation that leads to heart disease, to diabetes complications, to the kind of decline I watched Arthur go through. Studies have shown it can lower fasting blood sugar levels. It can reduce LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, while leaving the good cholesterol alone. And it does something else, something I did not expect. It makes the coffee taste better. It gives you a warmth, a richness, that means you do not need the sugar. You do not miss it. I stopped using sugar in my coffee in 2010, and I have not gone back. And here is the part where I have to be honest with you, because I would be a fraud if I left this out. I did not start using cinnamon because I read a study. I started because my own blood sugar was climbing. Me, Dr. Harold Weston, the man who lectured Arthur Brennan about his cola habit, I was sitting at 128 fasting glucose, pre-diabetic. At 65 years old, after 4 decades of telling other people how to take care of themselves, my own body was waving a red flag, and I almost ignored it. Dorothy was the one who pushed me. She read an article in some health magazine, bought a jar of Ceylon cinnamon, and started putting half a teaspoon in my coffee every morning without telling me. I did not even notice for 2 weeks. When she finally told me, I laughed. I said, "Dorothy, I am a physician. You think a little cinnamon is going to make a difference?" She looked at me, and I will never forget this. She looked at me and said, "Harold, you told Arthur Brennan to change his diet, and he did not listen. Do not you dare be Arthur." That stopped me cold. I kept the cinnamon. I also cut the sugar. I started walking 3 miles every morning. I adjusted my diet. And within 6 months, my fasting glucose dropped to 98. My A1C came down to 5.4. My doctor, yes, doctors have doctors, told me whatever I was doing, keep doing it. Now, was it just the cinnamon? No, it was everything together. But the cinnamon was the door. It was the first small change that made the next change possible. It replaced the sugar. It shifted the habit. It gave me something to put in that blue ceramic mug every morning that was not slowly poisoning me. I want to tell you about one more person. A woman named Clara Simmons, 71, came to me in 2012. Retired librarian, lived alone after her husband passed, drank 6 cups of coffee a day, each one loaded with flavored creamer and 2 sugars. Her blood sugar was 212. Her blood pressure was through the roof. She was on the same path Arthur was on, and she knew it. I could see it in her face, the fear, the resignation, the look of someone who believed it was already too late. I sat with Clara for 45 minutes that day. I did not lecture her. I told her about Arthur. I told her about myself. And then I told her to try one thing, just one thing, before her next appointment. Replace the sugar and the creamer with a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon and a splash of milk. That is it. I told her she did not have to overhaul her whole life. She came back in 3 months. Her fasting glucose had dropped 30 points. She was sleeping better. She told me the cinnamon made her coffee taste like Christmas morning, and she did not miss the sugar at all. And here is the thing. Once she changed the coffee, she started changing other things. She started walking to the library where she used to work. She started cooking again instead of eating frozen dinners. One small change opened a door, and Clara walked through it. Clara is 83 now. She sent me a card last December. She is still drinking her cinnamon coffee every morning. Arthur never got that chance. You are sitting there right now, and maybe you are drinking a cup of coffee as you listen to this. Maybe it has 2 sugars, maybe 3. Maybe you have a flavored creamer that has more chemicals in it than a laboratory. And you are telling yourself the same thing Arthur told himself. It is fine. I have always done it this way. I am not going to change now. I need you to hear me, really hear me. You do not have to change everything. I am not asking you to change everything. I am asking you to change the coffee. 1 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon. That is it. Because that 1 teaspoon is a door. And on the other side of that door is a version of your life where your blood sugar is lower, your inflammation is quieter, your mornings taste better, and you are not sitting in a hospital bed wondering what would have happened if you had just made one small change when you still had the chance. I am 79 years old. Dorothy still makes my coffee every morning. Same blue mug. But now there is cinnamon in it instead of sugar. And I have watched my health hold steady for almost 15 years because of the changes that started with that one small shift. I am not your doctor. I do not know your history, your medications, your body. Talk to your doctor before you change anything. But ask them about cinnamon. Ask them about what you are putting in your coffee 6 times a day, and whether there is something better. This channel is for people like us. People who have been around long enough to know that the small things are never really small. If this meant something to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe if you want to keep listening. I have got more stories, more patience, more lessons I learned too late, and I would rather tell them while I still can. Arthur Brennan would have been 89 this year. He never got to build another birdhouse. He never got to hold June's hand in that waiting room again. All because he would not change the coffee.